I'm often saying you don't need to turn yourself into a banana to get your core toned. So many traditional ab exercises make you do this. Bend over into that banana shape. And I recently posted about a Pilates instructor who was struggling to do one of the moves called a neck roll, which is very similar. It's one of those banana shapes. And yes, I am certified in Pilates, and there are those traditional Pilates moves like the neck roll, hundreds, hollow holds, which yes, when you think about it, it's a banana shape. Now here's why that may not be optimal for your female physiology. 80% of women will have a baby at some point in their lives. Now, I'm not saying don't ever do these moves. I'm just saying here is why it may not be feeling great. And this can also happen if you've never had a baby or aren't even planning on having a baby. So it's all about this frontal load. So if you've had a baby, you've had a lot of what we call anterior load. You've had a baby in front of you. Then in today's society, we spend a lot of time leaning over stuff, leaning over devices, leaning over steering wheels, leaning over prams, leaning over shopping trolleys, leaning over desks. Again, it's that anterior focus. So when you think about functional movement, we kind of want to reverse that, okay? We don't want to then go into our exercise and be crunching and doing more of that move. That is why it might not be feeling great on your back and neck. When you're bending over and doing those crunch or banana shape movements, you're actually only training the outer part of your core. So your core is actually everything between your shoulders and hips. That includes your diaphragm, and it also includes your pelvic floor. But when we crunch, we're only targeting the good old six pack, okay? That's your subliminal core. It doesn't include anything else. And your core does not work in isolation. So everything between your shoulders and hips is actually connected to your arms and legs, connected to your breath, connected to your glutes. So this is why we can use whole body training to train our core. It's no longer just about this six pack. And yes, I've trained women who have had diastasis, that means ab separation, and still had a six pack. So when we just focus on this area, we're not getting that total core strength. The final piece of this puzzle is actually your breath. So very often, if we suck our belly button in and brace our belly and then move into these banana shaped movements, it's very hard to breathe. And as I said, your diaphragm is a major player in your core. So if you're not breathing, you're creating what I call a lot of intra-abdominal pressure. Can of soda or can of Coke in your belly, and you're not letting that air out. And when we don't do that, that pushes out on the midline and pushes down on the lower belly, causing lower belly bulge and also pelvic floor heaviness. So we need to let that air out of our mouth through our breath, and then we get this beautiful total core connection. It's really simple, but because we're not very used to doing it, it can feel hard. And sometimes when it feels simple, we often feel like we're not doing enough, but we can definitely challenge ourselves. And I do this in a variety of ways using resistance-based training and different types of moves to train your core. Just follow along on my page and you'll see them all. Finally, my key thing is if you are in a class or you're given a movement and it doesn't feel right, or if, like what I posted, the instructor is really struggling doing it, you don't have to do it. There's plenty of other options. Somehow we've been sold, that core exercises are only these traditional crunch exercises, whereas modern core training is so much more, and it's actually so much better for our body. You should be walking away from your workouts thinking, I feel great, I feel fabulous, I can do that again. You don't need to always feel the burn.